I dare say La Brea would smile to hear you say such a thing. That is, if we had cause to report this incident to him. Smile? I'm not sure his face is capable of such warmth. It's funny because it's true. The world uncentered asphodelos, the first circle. So, oh, so we're going into the castle? We're not just going to... Oh. You're meeting him halfway. Nope. Ugh, I'll save them. I must. Oh. Gotta bring him to his senses. I'm kind of trying to read fast here, so I'm not good at reading out loud like that, so... Nice. Nice creations of me. Hey, yeah, oh, hey, that mask is different. Oh, he was one of the 13. I just noticed that. Don't judge me on how I play the game, please. Oh, that was lucky. I'm not paying attention. Rush that real quick. I'll just go and help. Right on the cast, I can't really do anything. Oh gosh, I see that. Yeah, I'm not stupid. I see that. I see that. Whenever he does like almost a full swing, but whatever. Works, I guess, yeah. Okay, we'll go back over here. Uh-oh, I'm gonna make that crap. Got your system just a little bit there. Failed miserably. I hate to see it. What was that? I also saw a chain start to spin. Kind of freaked me out a little. One standing here, right? Yeah. Not the red one. I go back to the red side. Yes. No, red to the blue. Red to the blue. Red to the blue. Close enough. Close enough. Close enough. I was kind of on the fly, kind of figure out kind of thing, but I think I got some of it. That was actually pretty cool. I like that mechanic. But I don't imagine. Oh, this is like on the hard difficulty. What are we doing? Just goes in the arena? Oh boy. Yeah, I've seen this before. I don't know what it does. Ooh, okay, I can't tell. But they're really glowing, so it's hard to really tell. Ain't there frail? Okay. What about the name to this? Is there flail? Uh-oh. Okay, hard to tell. Chains to bind you. My damage is solely lacking right now because of this. Wait, it's red, so stand in blue? Gotcha, okay. Easy peasy. Like it's a Sank Buster. Let's have the blue. Yes. Right. It's not the blue marker, I gotta stand with the red. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. I'm getting it, we're getting there. No, him having chain powers, it's like he's not trying to bind us to the ground or anything. Oops. It's fine. I'm just getting used to it. Getting there slowly and steadily. But first time, give me a break. Was that blue? What's that blue? Fucking blue! That's what I would say. Oh, that blue is a blue. It's still blue, but I should go back because there's a thing. Oh boy. Okay. That was interesting. I like when they transform. Hope it's okay. But he's trying to talk to you. You had no choice but to shoot first and ask questions later, so, you know. Oof! That was a dueling display, and if I may be so boasting, the warriors I spun from your ether fought even more splendidly than I had anticipated. I suppose they were cut from excellent cloth after all. Oh, go on. We should wait until this man regains his senses. He wears the robes of a warder, and I would be very curious to know what drove him to attack us, sight unseen. Do you mean to say why he attacked us on sight? Well, either way, I guess we'll find out in just a short few minutes here. Dark, he stirs. Oh, okay, what's up? Let's go talk to him, let's see what's going on. Are you okay? Sorry about the beat down there. What came over me? I'm not sure. Looks like you're under a spell or something. Or maybe you were scared. It's coming back to me. My mind was filled with a storm from depression? Anger. I leapt to you, though I knew not of your intentions. Yeah, you kinda did. I thought maybe you're just being mind controlled. And maybe you are. Still, but anyway, pray accept my apologies and my thanks. I do not knock some sense back into me. I may have fallen upon someone less capable of defending themselves. Who knows if you have already. But yeah, I am ffxiv, okay, a warder of asphodelos, Pandemonium's highest layer, and the place we're in now. One must wonder why you were so desperate to keep us out. What is happening in Pandemonium? The creations interred within asphodelos have been set free, and stalk its halls to no end but violence. Well, that's not good. That's not good, to say the least. Has this ever happened before? No, never. Each level of Pandemonium. Oh, hold on, I forgot. Pandemonium is under the charge of a keyword, who keeps strict control over the most minute aspect of their domain. They're selected with great care, and their loyalty to Master Lahabrea is absolute. Yet something has gone terribly wrong. Try as we might to hold the line, the chaos within is overwhelming. I hardly realized that I had become separated from my colleagues. I remember a chorus of whispers assailing my senses, and afterwards only flashes of rage and fury, then blackness, from which I awoke to find that whatever has overcome me was gone. Mind controlled. I see. Your senses may have been muddled by magics that affect the mind, perhaps the self-same ones that saw you separate from the other warders. Oof. I don't think Lahabrea is behind this. Doesn't make any sense. Is that this villain arc? It doesn't make sense. We still have to go through the final days. Anyway, whatever has taken hold of me, thank you for releasing me from its clutches. That you've come here from the surface must mean some word of our plight has reached the outside world. If you know anything that may help, pray tell. Horror among horrors. So Pandemonium's protections are indeed being dismantled from within by the same individual or individuals that released its captives and set them upon you. No doubt, such knowledge avails us little, however, if we cannot ascertain their identity. Themis, was it? You said you worked for an organization under the auspices of the convocation. Were they to receive word of what has transpired here, what measures would they take? Probably not good. Would I know of the convocation? Doubtless they would consider this place to be a lost cause. Pandemonium's ties to the outside would be severed, or perhaps it would be wiped from existence entirely. Yeah, that's what I think. I understand the convocation very well. And if they see something that's a lost cause, they just delete it. That's how it works up there. If a monster is on as a lost cause, then they just... So it's just gone. So it makes sense. So yeah, everyone in here would probably die. Unless they know a way to get out. Before then. As I thought, were the creatures to escape into the outside world, there would be untold carnage. The words of La Habrea would never risk that, despite what value the research subjects may hold. All the more reason to work with haste. If we can't expect further help, then it falls upon me to save the others. I'll not leave them behind. Keep together there, Themis. Don't let them see you show emotion. You would go alone. I wouldn't leave the other wards to face certain doom. I know they fight for survival even now. They wouldn't abandon their duty. They would see the creatures return to their cells at all cost. And so I must do the same. Themis, I know the request I am about to make of you is monumental. It's a monumental one, but please say not a word of this to the convocation until I've been given a chance to set things right. Forgive my rudeness at the Richinos, but my decision cannot be swayed by emotions. You would only be consigning yourself to an early death. Strength of resolve alone cannot win in the face of overwhelming odds. Well, tell that to me. Yeah, so I thought. From my direction. That being said, our investigation has only just begun, and we would be remiss to turn back error we've made an exhaustive survey. So, for the time being, it is slightly more than resolve to rely upon. Yeah, let's do this. I knew you would be all too eager to join us. Well, heck yeah, let's go. I want to meet the original. Names, man, it's so hard. There's so many names. La Habrea, that was it. Each moment since you fell from the sky has been more interesting than the last. More and more, you remind me of my dear friend, which goes some way towards encouraging me that this matter will yet reach a satisfactory conclusion. I have a good feeling it will. So, you agree to help? Yeah, of course. For the moment, our goals align. The protective magics of pandemonium. Yet hold. So for the moment, time is in our favor. Let us proceed upon the course you and Dark has set us upon. I guess I don't want to wear my robes for this. I'm guessing Themis and Dark, yes? I think Themis? I don't know his name. And Dark, yes? Thank you. The wards owe you a great debt already. Man, La Habrea is not going to remember me. I tell you what. I wonder how this is going to happen, because obviously both Elizabeth and La Habrea saw me, yet none of them except for Elizabeth had that whole, hey, wait a minute, I remember you, but I don't. Like I said, Elizabeth had that. Sorry, Elizabeth had that moment, but La Habrea never did. There was never once where he was like, wait a minute, I know you from somewhere. Anyway, we shall be glad to have someone familiar with Pandaemonium halls by our side. A party of three is ever so much more entertaining than a pair of two. Now, let us turn our attention to rescuing our colleagues. Perhaps it would be wise to approach the gates in case any have followed you out. Well, sounds good to me. Oh, here we go. The long walk into the giant castle, which is probably, as always, bigger on the inside. Man, the Asians do love their TARDIS-related buildings, don't they? Well, anyway, moving right along. We just finished the first circle. Not a bad fight. Loved it, loved it. So now we're gonna move on to finish up the next part of the quest. I guess we'll see what happens. So, dungeon, you say? How'd you find your way out? You know what? You're a word. What am I saying? How'd you find your way out? Door's locked. Not a sound can be heard from within, which means neither creature nor word has made it this far. We should begin forming a plan to save them at once. Okay, sounds good. So, forgive me if I misunderstand, but do you mean to rescue the worlds and creations both? Naturally. Although they may be dangerous, they're valuable research subjects. I wouldn't see our labor, our untold hours of study go to waste. I guess that's pretty fair. I dare say La Habrea would smile to hear you say such a thing. That is, if we had cause to report this incident to him. I think he already knows. Isn't he not in here as well? So I guess if La Habrea wasn't here, he would be able to stop it, but he might also be captured. Oh, you know something, don't you? Smile? I'm not sure his face is capable of such warmth. It's funny because it's true. Oh, come on, you know it's true. So you have met him before. I was under the impression he rarely visited Pandaemonium. Oh wait, am I like sussing him because of him saying that he's met him, even though I guess he never came here, even though it's the words of La Habrea and this is this place? I'm confused. What's going on? Hold on, let me keep reading. I have, yes. My mentor was the previous head of this facility. That is to say, La Habrea's predecessor in the position of chief keyword. Wait a minute, I just had another freaking realization that I keep forgetting about. The freaking naming conventions. I keep forgetting about that. Because Hermes is the new Fandaniel, but the previous Fandaniel died. Every person who's a part of the convocation gets a new name. They still have their original name, but they get a new name, and they take the name of the seat of the role in the convocation. So La Habrea, this La Habrea might not be our La Habrea. I mean, of course, he is going to be our La Habrea because, of course, we're talking about all the Assassins that we know during the Sundering and stuff, but I don't know why I didn't think about that. This La Habrea might not be our La Habrea. Whatever. Whoever La Habrea really is, because I don't think La Habrea really said his real name. I think the only time we ever heard the Ascians' real names are when we've met Emmett Selk and when we met Pandaniel. Right. Her name was Anthea, and she was a researcher with the words. It was she who appointed me to this position, in fact. Wait, okay, let me get this right. So, he is the person in charge of the words of, not the words of La Habrea. He is the person in charge of Pandaemonium. But La Habrea oversees the place. Our La Habrea. His predecessor, Anthea, was the previous La Habrea? Wait a minute. Is that Igiorm? Because La Habrea and Igiorm actually worked together. Okay. I'm getting off a topic here. I'm gonna continue on. Damn it. I was trying to hide the chat. I see. I do not know there was a chief keyword before La Habrea. Your motive to save your research subjects is not entirely driven by duty to the words, then. You also wish to preserve the work of your mentor. You have the right of it. I'm lacking in ideas of how to go about this, however. I am a mere ward. I cannot wield interment magics. Jeez. Interment magics? Is that a new class I should worry about now? Not worry about, but look forward to. But of course, I can hardly expect you to be versed in the magics we use here. If you recall, during our battle earlier, I bound you in ethereal shackles. Interment is a more refined and powerful magics based upon the same principles. Oh. Okay, I think I get it. Well, both are used to keep our subjects docile. Only the keyword of each tier is permitted to use internment. Even if I were allowed, I lack the aptitude to use the spell to any notable effect. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if in the future we would be able to transform into like transform like the ancients used to. I wonder. That'd be kind of cool. I have some knowledge of these forms of spellcast, actually. Lahabrea himself established their foundation, if I recall. Indeed, while the illusionary beings he summoned in our fight suggests as much, I see our knowledge of magics is vast. Perhaps you've already mastered the art of internment, and I've been lecturing you like a child all this time. I'm afraid my knowledge ends there. I have not the precise understanding of how the invocations interact with natural laws that would be needed to cast said spells with any consistency. Okay. Well, I consider myself well versed in various magics. I would be ill-advised to assume the duties of keyword without instruction. That being said, if I were to learn more of internment and its inner workings, perhaps. Leave the fighting to me. You two can figure out the rest. I dare say we can do just that. Ffxiv. I cannot get that name. So someone says it. I can't get that name. Richness. Yeah, until someone says it, I can't get that name. You implied that what prevented you from performing internment was lack of magic capabilities. What if I supplemented your power with my own? Would the spell succeed then? I can't say for certain. I've never heard of such a thing being done. Don't you have to keep your focus, keep this whole place from falling apart? But I guess if he helps you, then it would only stand to reason that you could work together to keep the barrier around this place going and also do magic. Okay, this makes sense, actually. Because he doesn't have to split his focus. You just have to make sure he only puts some magic into this guy, and that guy has to put his full magic outward. So, you know, because like he can summon extra like people from me. We all know what's really happening, but he can't like make duplicates of me while keeping the barrier up. So he could probably also give a lot of his magic to this guy and also keep the barrier going. Anyway, I believe it may be our best recourse. That is, of course, assuming you can perform the initial rites and incantations flawlessly. Even the smallest misstep and we could have to start over. Oof. Alright, I guess we're doing this. You needn't worry about that. I've seen the spells cast so many times that their emotions have been burned into my memory. I won't disappoint. Very well. Let us work out the specifics afterward. Once we do, we can test out our methods on one of the escaped creatures. Though I suppose there is the matter of finding one. Well, if we're lucky, one might come barging out the door again. Or, well, there wasn't a creature, but you know what I mean. It would be foolish to rush in blindly. At least we find ourselves surrounded with naught but an untested stagium at our disposal. Nay, I would prefer to engage a single creature that Dark could dispatch on her own if the spell were to go awry. I agree, and I may have an idea in that regard. I recall seeing the Hippocampus, wandering the waterways during my fight. Perhaps it's still there. Few of the subjects housed within asphodelos are fond of water, and I believe we'll be able to engage the beast without fear of unwanted guests. I guess we're gonna start looking for the trapdoor. Pull the lever, Crunk! Wrong lever! Then that should be our first target, or perhaps subject is a better term. Before we commence with the interment magics, the creature should be weakened to a sufficient degree. I believe I can trust you with the task? Oh, yeah, know it. I know how to damage something without killing it completely. As dependable as ever, once you have given it a thorough thrashing, we shall bind this hippocomatus, whatever you say the name, with the keywords magic. Upon then, my illusionaries should fight by your side. The hippocampus will be alone, but it's a daunting opponent nevertheless. Its magics warp the environment around it, and it will be at home amidst the waterways. Steel yourself for a fight. Alright, sounds good. Let's do this. I guess this is the next circle, or it's just gonna be a normal fight before the next circle. So we'll see what happens. Okay, no, this is the second circle. Okay. Oh, I guess we'll see what happens. If I get in immediately, this might go into part 2. Yeah, as well. Not so Solidibus. I take it we are each ready to fulfill our respective roles. Truth be told, this will be the first time I have practiced magics that require such a degree of preparation between parties. How thrilling! I got to have more thrilling preparative magic soon in the future. I'm gonna say Athena. Athena ever drove home the fact that our subjects should be treated with the utmost care. Would be best if we could see them confined once again, rather than disposed of like beasts gone feral. I think I know a man who would have been happy to hear that kind of comment.